Welcome to Coming Out with Cannabis with your host, Christina D'Arcangelo Pooler, and I am Wayne Kelly. We're talking today with our CTO, Neeraj Hati. Christina, CDP!
Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you? We hope today is a good day for you. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Henceforth, the reason why we have Neeraj on the phone with us, actually, he's Skyping with us today, all the way from India, our other brick and mortar office for AI Health Outcomes. We are so pleased to have Neeraj today because we really wanted people to see the brains behind
the
AI.
man with a plan. That's right.
That's right. And so today, you're going to get to be able to listen to Neeraj and hear about all the awesome things that he has been working on with us through AIHO, as well as Affinity Bio Partners. Welcome, Neeraj. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for staying up late.
Thank you so much.
Hey, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Neeraj. As Christina mentioned, Neeraj is the brains behind the outfit here, and the three of us make the C-suite team, and we couldn't do it without you, Neeraj. So thank you for joining us today.
Sure. Thanks, Wayne. So hi everyone. I'm Neeraj. I am from India. And I've been with healthcare IT for as long as I can remember. I mean, if I think about the number of years, it makes me slightly nervous because it kind of reflects on my age, So it's like almost 20 years that I've been working on healthcare IT. And I've seen the interactions that take place between doctors and patients from the EHR, EMR side, as well as I worked on lab systems and radiology systems and some cool stuff that we've done for patients and doctors. So yeah, I got quite motivated and interested in finding a way to use artificial intelligence to make the interaction of the doctors and patients more fun and more interesting, because a lot of time that doctors have to spend is with the EHR. They end up spending a lot of time typing stuff down, taking notes and recording stuff. If we could take that off in some way, then it would be great. So yeah, that's kind of what motivates me.
Neeraj, could I ask you to let the people know what that acronym means? Because some of them that may be joining us may not be aware of what that means.
Oh, it's electronic health records. Okay, so it is the software, hospital software, the core workflow software that works for a hospital or a clinic. Where that's the backbone of any hospital or clinic that the doctors have to use, or everybody in a hospital or a clinic setting has to use.
So just to kind of compare to a physician network group here, we'll just pick on Pennsylvania because that's where two of us are. So Penn Medicine, for example, if any of our viewers out there go to Penn for their PCP or their general practice or whatever, specialist, that sometimes when you go to the doctor's office, you'll notice that they're typing on their computer, folks, and that's what that means. That's what they're typing in. Right. So I just want to make sure everybody understands where we're coming from, because sometimes we get very technical, and I'd like to make sure everybody understands, so they really get out of our YouTube channel some information that's helpful.
And they can use a smart device to sit there with the patient and say, we need this prescription or that prescription, or, order this, order that. So that's some of the things. And Neeraj, I'm paraphrasing, we have these early morning conversations, early morning for me, late in the afternoon for Neeraj. So that's sometimes our brainstorming sessions. But if you want to elaborate, go ahead. That would be great.
Yeah, so like Christina mentioned, you must have seen the doctors spending a lot of time on their computer. So the EHR or the EMR, when they were coming up, the expectation was that they will reduce the amount of time that the doctors will have to spend on documenting stuff, but essentially it has actually ended up increasing their time. So the electronic health record, hospital software, clinic software has made things better. Definitely, the life has become better, but the amount of time that the doctor has to spend with the patient has actually not gone up. It's supposed to be going up, right? If doctor and patient are sitting across the table, then the doctor should be talking to the patient more than typing stuff down or being worried about whether it is recorded or not, whether the right allergy is coming up or not. and all of that. So, that's where I think artificial intelligence can help going forward. And we want to do something that definitely shows outcomes in this area where the doctors will be able to spend more time with their patients.
Yeah, I mean, I can say I had to go to the doctors a couple weeks ago because I had this stupid virus. And when I went, they were, of course, in the electronic records for Penn, and they're looking through things, and they had to prescribe a couple different medicines for me for my virus. And when they went on my records, my profile had been corrupted.
Oh.
And half, if not most of the drugs that I'm allergic to that are like, cause like asthmatic type reactions, like my throat closes, which is kind of a major thing. It's not an annoyance. I mean, if my throat closes, that's a problem. And it was missing all that stuff. And so they had to go look for my other profile. Evidently had another profile. And it wasn't because I had changed my name, because I've been married since 2012. So that didn't happen yesterday or 2 weeks ago, you know what I mean? So I don't know what happened, but luckily, that I always double check because I'm paranoid, of course, because I work in healthcare, and things happen. And so I double checked, and that's when they said, oh, we're missing all these things. What are you allergic to? I'm like, what am I allergic to? Do you know how many things it is for these antibiotics and stuff? Yeah, it was a disaster. So our solution will help those types of things where there's multiple, say, profiles for our patients. They'll be able to no longer have to deal with that because there will no longer be multiple profiles for these patients.
Exactly. And there may be smart, smart assistant. So if the doctor and patient, when they are talking to each other, silently, the smart assistant will be, kind of recording, not just recording everything, but I mean, collecting the information. And, there will be smart connect where, if allergies are there or something comes up, then the smart assistant can slowly or silently bring it up as needed without being, bringing an intrusion in the interaction of doctor and patient. So, the world is just going to change for sure with the, artificial intelligence if applied in the right way. I think the benefits of electronic health records that were perceived, which are not there, I think the next set of technological advancements, and hopefully, folks like us, we can make a difference there and make it really better.
Absolutely.
I'm worried about helping physicians navigate properly through healthcare to alleviate some of their issues doing their jobs, because at the end of the day, they're trying to just treat their patients, right? They're not trying to fill out all these questionnaires and these stupid, but they have to, right? Because you have to track all these things, right? Especially from an insurance billing standpoint, as we all know, that's how everybody gets paid around here. So we have a solution for that. We have the patient interaction of our different bots, right? That we have the Cannabot and the Doctor Bot that will help people both in the cannabis industry and the traditional industry, whether it's a kid with autism, say, or a cancer patient, or like today is World Lymphedema Day. So one of our patients may have access to our Doctor Bot that may have questions regarding symptoms of lymphedema and potential treatment options for them, or clinical trials that they may be able to participate in should they make their inclusion/exclusion.
Right. I think what's really exciting, and I wanted to mention this earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt, but having Neeraj speak and yourself and myself, and as you mentioned, Neeraj, we're all approaching that, 20-year mark in the traditional, healthcare. So it kind of reflects our age a little bit, but I think that's also a comfort that, our partners and colleagues can relate to, or at least accept that we do have that experience in traditional. We're coming into our concentration is not just cannabis, it's not just traditional, but it's helping the patient. And that's the exciting thing. As you mentioned, Neeraj, our technology, we're hoping, offers time that the doctor has lost or has never had with the patient, and increase that amount of time that the doctor has with the patient. We believe our technology can do it. So it is exciting. And like I said,
and
not only traditional. Yes,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Just imagine the physician has a question that he would look up or she would look up, right? In periodicals. With our tool, they'll be able to talk directly to the bot and ask the question for the periodical that they're looking for. Wherein before they'd have to stop, they'd have to go Google, try and figure something out, and then get back to you. If it's say it's a clinical trial, right? Say there's a patient that's sitting before them that's really sick. Say there's something wrong with their liver or what have you, something terrible. And the patient says to the physician, hey, you know what? Do you know if there's any clinical trials if they happen to be going to a physician group that's part of a clinical trial network? Now what happens is the physician has to stop what he's doing or she's doing and change to a different portal to find whether or not there's a clinical trial that's present. And, you know, I've seen this firsthand when I was helping my dad, you know, back in 2015 when he had been diagnosed with the stage 4 liver, lung, and stomach cancers. I was meeting with Penn Oncology, and I asked them, you know, the physician, hey, do you know of any clinical trials that are upcoming that my dad could participate in? Because at that point, the liver cancer was what was actually driving the cancer spreading all over his body. And the physician said, well, hold on a second. And he turns around to the computer and he starts getting online. And I go, wait a minute, I already know because I had tapped into, you know, the oncology group for clinical trials. And I knew there was a study coming up that they were getting IRB approval for. But I'm a clinical person, so it's easier for me to do this. Regular patients with their mom and dad or their kids or their uncle, aunt, friend, whatever, they're not going to know to do that.
Yes.
And they're expecting the physician to know everything, which is not truly fair, really.
No,
so,
it's not.
You know, we're hoping to alleviate some of those pressures from the physician as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I was reminded, you know, both of you know that, you know, I've worked with Thomson Reuters. You know, I was with Thomson Reuters for some time, and you know, Thomson originally made that, you know, the physician reference book, you know, that you see in the corner of every office that nobody's ever touched, but it's about 6 inches thick. It seems, maybe not 6. I'm exaggerating, and I don't think they make that any longer. I think they stopped making that as I was leaving. But yeah, that thick reference book. It's going to be so handy to have artificial intelligence, like you said. Just you know, the doctor needs that information. Just ask a smart device, and there it is, while he's still communicating with the patient.
Yes, exactly.
So, that's the exciting stuff.
Exactly.
And, you know, not only that, but all the data that comes with it. Every episode, I got to mention that, you know, I'm just about the data. And it's true. But as he's speaking to the device, of course, we're collecting data, not, you know, specific information on the patient or the doctor, but that demographic comparison benchmark information that, you know, we can sink our teeth into, and that becomes value to everybody who has access to it.
No HIPAA violating data is received. We're not selling anything to anybody. I just saw a very large CRO announce yesterday on the heels of Gottlieb resigning from the FDA, which what in the world is going on now?
Yeah,
that's a big
surprising.
hit. That's a big hit. Yeah. I'll be interested to see who comes in after him. Anyway, I noticed that there were some issues in general with this topic that, you know, because we're so tapped in. I saw a CRO now that has been gathering all this data and now selling services relational to that data that they've been gathering on behalf of their clients for 2 different disease states. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Alexa just reminded me that was 10 minutes. How long have we been on?
14 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's not bad. Alexa, thank you. Stop. So that's pretty good.
Last time she yelled at us, so we're getting better.
And you know, I just want to make one last point. I think to the same thing that Christina mentioned. You know, the technology is supposed to make life easier and better. But in case of healthcare, you know, tech guys like me, you know, they feel that the whole world is good with technology, which is not the case. So we are supposed to be making life easier for the doctors and patients, but technology normally ends up making it more complicated. And that's where some devices like iPhone, they become so successful because they make it very intuitive for the user. You don't feel like you're using a phone. You know, whatever you want to do, it's so natural. So I think that's really missing in healthcare today. Because healthcare is so difficult to upgrade. You know, you can come up with a new software, but a hospital has to go through a lot of pain to just upgrade to a new software because some
Right.
patient's life may be dependent. So I think it's a bigger challenge for folks like us, to make it so simple, so intuitive that the technology is there, the benefits are there, but it's not intrusive, and it is also not such that somebody has to do a PhD on it to just to use it.
Right.
Absolutely. No, the user or the friendliness of the user interface is a must-have these days, and it's this simpler the better. On every device, not only smart devices, mobile, etc. But yeah, it must be easy. It must be intuitive.
Well, and plus, when you implement a change in your process, a lot of times employees and team members are resistant. They push back. So I think the fact that what we're trying to do is make it as easy to deploy for the companies that we're supporting and the clients, as well as the individuals utilizing our tools. I think that's the critical point. And I think the fact that all of us, the C-suite team, we have all come from traditional spaces. We have a lot of experience, not only professional, but also personal experiences in this. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, right, there's the return on something bad happening, right? But anyway, I think that that's one of the things that we try to keep in the back of our minds at all times, the ease of execution. I mean, that's the type of company we have, and that's what our team is worried about.
I think we lost Wayne.
Yep. Pause.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I took a sip of my water and muted myself so you couldn't hear the sipping. But, in the early days, as you were talking about, Christina, we used to call it the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. These days it's really, we don't usually say that often any longer, but it is really all about that.
That's right.
Okay, well, we were reminded to end the video, and it's been great fun having you, Neeraj. We'll have to do this more often. We're having a blast out here, everybody. Make sure that you, again, Christina and Neeraj, I don't know what side, but follow, like the video, follow us on YouTube or on LinkedIn and Facebook, Twitter. Just come along for the party. We're going to have a lot of fun and make a lot of difference in this world. So, again.
And any questions anybody has for us, if you noticed last time on our YouTube channel, we were very happy to see that we had received some commentary from some of our viewers, and we responded back probably the same day. We tried very hard to respond back to any questions that we received. So please, we encourage that you reach out to us with any questions, any topics. If there's something that you really feel that you need support with, and we might be able to help you. If we can't help you, we within our network of people that we have will find somebody that can. And that's our commitment to you. We want you to get something out of these YouTube videos that we're shooting. We want to help and empower all of the individuals that are listening to us every week. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Hey, that was good. Thank you. This is where we should have some cue music or something. We'll work on that. But okay, everybody. Neeraj, thank you for joining us today. Christina, always great, always fun. Everybody, thanks for having us in your monitor, your device. But we'll talk to you again. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.